The US has watered down a proposal to punish North Korea for its sixth and most powerful nuclear test, emitting an oil embargo and a freeze of KimJongUn's assets, according to a European diplomat. The US, UK and France are united on the latest proposal, but it's unclear whether Russia and China, the other veto-holding members of the United Nations Security Council, will back the text as it stands. A vote was scheduled for 6 p.m. New York time, according to a UN official. Barring oil exports was always a long shot. Still, the revised draft resolution would cap shipments of refined petroleum products at 2 million barrels a year while limiting crude oil exports to North Korea to current levels. It would retain a proposed ban on textile exports, while diluting a ban on the use of guest workers from the isolated country and dropping proposals to freeze the assets of Kim and national airline Air Koryo. With more modifications possible, it wasn't certain whether a vote will take place Monday as the US has demanded. The negotiations reflect differences among world powers over the best way to halt Kim's push for a nuclear weapon that can target the US homeland. President Donald Trump wants China and Russia to use their economic leverage to rein in Kim, but both countries are skeptical that sanctions will work and have called for peace talks. North Korea warned on Monday of retaliation if the UN approves the US proposal for harsher sanctions. In case the US eventually does rig up the illegal and unlawful resolution on harsher sanctions, the Democratic People's Republic of Korea shall make absolutely sure that the US pays a due price, its state-run Korean Central News Agency said, citing a statement by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs that used its formal country name. The forthcoming measures to be taken by the Democratic People's Republic of Korea will cause the US the greatest pain and suffering it had ever gone through in its entire history. Despite the rhetoric, there was a sign both sides are looking for a diplomatic solution. North Korean foreign ministry officials are likely to hold informal talks with former US officials in Switzerland on Monday, Japan's Nippon television reported. China supplies most of North Korea's crude oil, according to the US Energy Information Administration, but it's hard to know exactly how much. China hasn't reported any volumes in its published customs data since 2013. The agency estimates North Korea crude imports at about 10,000 barrels per day. China also reported sending 6,000 barrels per day of oil products to North Korea last year, according to the Energy Information Administration citing UN customs data. While that's about 10% more than the maximum amount allowed in the draft resolution, the exact volume of products is hard to determine and the cap is near estimated levels reported elsewhere. As many as 60,000 North Koreans are working in more than 50 countries, according to estimates from South Korea's foreign ministry. U.S. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson has called on the international community to suspend the flow of North Korean guest workers, who earn between $1.5 billion and $2.3 billion a year, much of which is sent back to the regime. Russian President Vladimir Putin has said North Koreans would eat grass rather than give up nuclear weapons, while China is wary about cutting off Kim's economic lifeline to the point it risks collapsing his regime. China is North Korea's main ally and by far its biggest trading partner, including for oil shipments. China supports action from the UN Security Council in response to North Korea's nuclear test, Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesman Zhong Shuang said in a daily briefing on Monday. We hope that the members of the Council will reach a consensus on the basis of full consultation and make a voice of solidarity, he said. To get faster updates and the latest news from the oil and gas industry, please subscribe to the YouTube new video channel and connect with us on Facebook, Twitter or LinkedIn.